Legend of Love. When I was a child, I saw a film. I've remembered it all my life. Life is easier now, maybe we don't feel the need. But stories like that stay with us. They remind us what love really means. Long ago, in the East, there lived a young and beautiful ruler, named Marmain Banu. She ruled over a sun-drenched city, where water had become scarce, blocked by a distant iron mountain. The land was dry, the desert stretched endlessly, and not a single drop of water could be found. The people, wrapped in turbans and cloaks, waited in long, weary lines with empty jugs, hoping for relief. Marmain Banu's beauty was known throughout the land. Her vizier, captivated by her, loved her deeply. He could gaze upon her for hours, without looking away. But not all was well in the palace. The ruler's younger sister, Shirin, was gravely ill with a mysterious and incurable disease. Marmain Banu loved Shirin more than anything in the world, and was desperate to save her. One day, a wanderer arrived in the city. No one knew where he came from, but he could read people's thoughts. He appeared before Marmain Banu in her grand palace, and made a bold offer. He could heal Shirin. But, he warned, there is a price. You must sacrifice your beauty for your sister's life, he said. You will not become ugly, but you will no longer shine with the beauty the world knows. You will still rule, you will still live, but the beauty that enchants all who see you will be gone. This is the price of true love. The wanderer knew the truth. Marmain Banu was loved because of her beauty, especially by the vizier. And when her beauty faded, so did his love. You love with a heart full of courage, the wanderer said to Marmain Banu. And you, vizier, you love like a coward. Despite the pain, Marmain Banu chose love over vanity. The wanderer gave her a muslin cape, light as air. When she wore it, no one could see how her beauty had changed. Her sister was healed. The people rejoiced. But the vizier, unable to see past her lost beauty, turned away. And so, the city lived on, healed by sacrifice, and ruled by a woman who had chosen love over all else. Shirin, once frail and fading, bloomed with life. She breathed in the sweet air of a world she had nearly left behind, her laughter echoing across the palace gardens. Each day she rode through the sunlit hills with her friends, her joy a gift to all who saw her. To celebrate her recovery, a talented artist named Farhad was summoned to the castle. With hands guided by grace, he painted the palace walls with visions of paradise, lush gardens, starry skies, and rivers that flowed like dreams. Both sisters fell under the spell of his charm. Farhad's soul was as deep as his art, and his eyes held the quiet strength of someone who had known struggle. Marmain Banu, now veiled in the muslin cape that hid her lost beauty, watched him closely. If only I were as beautiful as before, she thought with longing. Yet she appointed him as the palace's chief draftsman, hoping to keep him near. But love, true love, does not obey thrones or wishes. One evening, under a flowering tree, Farhad looked at Shirin, and whispered, "You blind me like the sun. You are scarlet and green, a tulip, a river. Who are you, the servant of the ruler?" Shirin smiled gently. "No, I am her sister." Farhad looked away, as though wounded by truth. Then I have fallen in love with an unreachable star. Jealousy quietly took root in Marmain Banu's heart. She could not bear to see their happiness. While the city suffered under a sun that gave no mercy, the fountains ran with nothing but stale, crusted water. The people grew weaker by the day. One night, she summoned Farhad. Marmain, feeling jealous, tries to separate the lovers, and was wondering how to do it. If you wish to marry Shirin, she said coldly, you must cut through the Iron Mountain and bring water to the city. Farhad stood tall. I accept. You must do it alone, she added. No help. It may take 10, maybe 20 years. I will not stop until it's done, he vowed. Answer: Farhad went to the Iron Mountain and began to carve a path through solid stone with his bare hands and a single pickaxe. 10 long years passed. The people of the city, weary and half forgotten, still made pilgrimages to the mountain with their empty jugs, though their hope had almost dried up. At last, Marmain Banu sent word to Farhad through her sister. She gave her blessing to their marriage, on one condition. He must leave the mountain. Overjoyed, Shirin ran to Farhad. Sister gave her consent, she said breathlessly. You must come back. Let others finish your work. But Farhad shook his head, his eyes hollow from years of sacrifice. For 10 years, I have carved these rocks. The people are waiting. When I break this last stone, water will pour forth. It will sparkle like your eyes, flow like your breath. The city will be healed, children will laugh again, gardens will bloom. I cannot leave, not now. What are you saying? Shirin asked, her voice trembling. I want to forget everything. My sister, these 10 years, my face has changed. What are you saying? You don't love me anymore. Farhad took her hands gently. I have never loved you more. Don't cry, Shirin. Don't bind me with your tears. He held her close. You are in my eyes. In my heart. Shirin nodded slowly. Then I will wait. She rode away with sorrow weighing her like a stone. But not far from the mountain, thunder roared across the sky. It was not a storm, it was water. The rock had broken. A great flood surged from the Iron Mountain, wild and unstoppable. It swept down with roaring force, tearing through boulders and earth, rushing toward the city like a silver dragon. But Farhad was still on the mountain. He was taken by the flood. Shirin turned back. When she saw what had happened, her heart broke beyond repair. She could not survive the loss. Yet the water, pure and alive, kept flowing. It ran through the city, filling fountains, healing the land. Meadows turned green, flowers bloomed, the people rejoiced. Love, sacrifice, jealousy, and hope. These were the currents beneath the water's rush. And in every drop, the memory of Farhad and Shirin lived on. Our forefathers planted gardens, and their descendants gathered the fruits. If our grandfathers sowed seeds for their sons, then surely, we must sow for our grandchildren. Look upon the fields of this worldly life. You'll see, we all sow not for ourselves, but for one another. Nizami Ganjavi.